Hey, I'm Peter Strohkorb, and I'm a results leader.
You're listening to ResultsLeader.fm. Being a thought leader is easy. Getting results is hard. This show is for the results leader who lives and dies by their results. Here is your host and Chief Results Leader, Jonathan Rivera.
You are listening to ResultsLeader.fm. Welcome back. If you've been here before, if you're brand new, so excited for you. Why? Because today we have another amazing interview with an expert whose values are near and dear to our heart. This is the Results Leader Show, and this guy is the sales leader. Mr. Peter Strohkorb is joining us on the show to talk about making more sales faster and being a better sales leader. Let's jump in. Peter, welcome to the show. So glad you're here. Are you ready to rock this thing?
Absolutely, Jonathan. I'm so glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Man, that posh accent's going to go well with our listeners. So let's dive into this, man. What book or books have you given most as a gift?
My own, of course. I've written 2 books in my life. I'm ready to get out a third one if I get around to it. But my second book is called Smarketing, Sell Smarter, Not Harder. And it's about how you can get more from your existing resources and get more sales out of them.
Excellent. New one to add to the list. Now it is story time. Peter, tell me a story of how an apparent failure set you up for later success.
I joined this organization as a contractor, and as it turned out, I really couldn't help them because they were not ready to be helped, if you know what I mean. Sometimes organizations sort of say they want some outside help, and then they discover that they actually don't have a stomach for change. Have you encountered that in your life?
Come on now. That's every average, ordinary person out there.
And so what it turned out, even though I couldn't help that client because they really weren't ready for change, didn't want change, they didn't want, they just wanted somebody to come in and tell them everything was okay the way it was. It really helped me later in life because it helped me avoid those sort of clients. Simply by asking the right questions beforehand, rather than assuming that they want what they say they want, has really helped me save a lot of heartache, pain, and wasted effort.
I think everybody wants to know, what are those questions that kind of let you know if they are right or not?
Well, I'm pretty straightforward, right? So I say to them, look, we're talking about cultural change management here. Are you ready for that? Watch out what you wish for. And they go, oh, yeah, but we really want it. And then I go, okay, do you realize it involves this, this, and this, and this, and this? And they go, ah. So look, I'm just honest with them because I say, look, this is what you're asking for. This is what you're going to get. Don't be surprised if you don't like what you're getting because you didn't think it through.
We had to deal with that a lot over here at the Podcast Factory, and we actually added a clause to our agreement that's called the do work clause. You promise to do the work you signed up for, and we make a big point of letting them know, if you're not going to do the work, please keep your money and go elsewhere. So I love that. Let's talk about investments. What would you say is the most worthwhile investment you've ever made?
An investment in myself, an
How do you mean?
investment an investment in upskilling myself and keeping myself up to date and understanding the environment, understanding the industries that I work in, and just being staying on top of my game and being knowledgeable so I can help my clients better.
What would you say to those people out there, especially the young ones that think after they're done with college, they're done improving themselves or learning?
You got to be a lifelong learner. The game never stops because life never stops, and there's always something new to learn. And Google doesn't know everything. And sometimes Google, even though you think Google knows everything, Google can't really help you because you got to analyze a situation. You've got to have the ability for critical thinking. And you can only have critical thinking if you know how to think and what to think about. And you got to consider the different aspects and circumstances that you're dealing with. So now you can't just stop learning. Besides, millennials have this idea that after their probationary period, they're ready for a promotion. I get this from employers a lot where they say, "Oh my God, these guys they're here for 6 months and they're going, why am I not getting promoted? I deserve it. I've been here 6 months." So look, you can't have that mindset. It's something that's got to be earned, and you've got to work for it, and you've got to keep learning.
Now, I've heard some people say that the school system is a bit of a mess because they are telling students what to think, and you're saying what's valuable is learning how to think. And so where does one learn how to think?
At school, so the curriculum, particularly in Australia, is changing from rote learning, basically learning facts and figures and being able to rehash those, to actually using your brain in a way that allows you to think critically, to analyze situations, and to form an informed opinion.
Man, we need that over here. So let's look back over the last 5 years. What new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
My business life or my personal life?
Whatever life you want to talk
all,
about here.
all my lives. Okay. Well, well, look, the in my business life, we I guess this goes for private life as well. So we all love doing the things that we love doing, and we hate doing the things we hate doing. And so sometimes it's a bit tempting to just do the stuff that you enjoy doing and leave the other stuff for later, which then gets pushed off and never happens. And so I found the discipline to say no, I need to do these things whether I like them or not. And so I actually schedule them into my diary. So, for example, in my business, when I do lead gen, I have a gen day where I religiously go out and do lead gen whether I like it or not. And we could talk about lead gen as well because I've discovered a whole bunch of things. I experimented with all different versions of lead gen in 2021, and I've come to a couple of conclusions that I'm happy to share with you and your listeners if you like. But to answer this particular question, just having a bit of discipline in your life that helps you to do the things you don't naturally enjoy doing.
Let's have some fun. What are some bad recommendations you hear in your area of expertise?
No, but the worst one is let's keep doing more of the things we already know are not working.
Hmm. Why?
So let's go to lead gen, which is one of my my favorite subjects. So we know. Now, let me ask you a question, Jonathan. How much do you like receiving an solicited cold call?
Oh, it's not my favorite.
Okay. How
It's
much
not
do you
my
enjoy
favorite.
spam?
I don't even see it.
How much do you enjoy being pitch slapped on LinkedIn?
Man, I've never heard that before. Wouldn't enjoy if somebody pitch slapped me.
Okay, so if you're running a business, why would you have SDRs, have agencies, cold callers, have a whole bunch of martech or sales tech spew out those sort of quite common and seemingly normal outreaches, large scale on a large scale in large numbers? What do you think happens on the other end? Because
Yeah.
when you have your martech stack and you can feed in tens of thousands of contacts, which are, by the way, now called leads, even though that you've never spoken to them and you have no idea whether they're in the market for the thing that you're selling. You feed tens of thousands of faceless contacts into your database. It's easy to forget that behind every one of those contacts is actually a human being, a person. So it's easy to just say, oh, look, it doesn't matter if we disenfranchise 10,000 people in the hope that two might be interested,
Mm.
right? Is that madness or what?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what happens actually is that your spam engine actually ruins the sales game for everybody else in sales because everybody else is affected by the buyer that goes, I'm not interested in what you're selling because I don't want any more spam. I don't want any more cold calls. I don't want any more pitch slapping.
Mm.
Yeah. So even in the size in a market the size of North America, USA, you can actually ruin the game because you put potential buyers off even listening to what you have to say because there's too much of it and too much is unsolicited and it's just pitch slapping instead of engaging. So I talk a lot about prospect engagement. I talk a lot about business engagement and drawing your prospect into a constructive business conversation rather than saying, hey, mate, would you like to buy this thing? So clearly, the point of madness is that in response to people responding less to outreaches, we do more of them. Really?
All right, we're about to get into the results portion of the show, but before we do that, I gotta ask you, have you shared the show? If you're digging what I'm laying down here, then I want to ask you to share this show with somebody who will find it helpful. Share it on your social medias. Use the hashtag ResultsLeaderFM, and I'll be looking for you out there. Thank you. All right, let's talk about results. Why do results matter, Peter?
Results are everything. So in sales, you haven't earned a dollar until you've made a sale. So, and if you've not made a dollar, then your business is not going to do well. So results matter in every facet of of business and of life. There is a popular TV show here called Married at First Sight. Have you heard of that?
No.
Okay. It's where they put the so-called experts put two strangers together, and the first time they meet is at their wedding, and then they observe them for the next couple of weeks, next couple of months, and see how they go. Right? They often go terrible because the experts are terrible. But but the point I'm making there is that results matter, and the result is either we get on and we live happily ever after, which is a result, or we discover that we have nothing in common. We actually end up hating each other, and that's a result as well. So
Mm.
so results do matter. What's the worst thing you can happen to you is no result, because then you keep repeating the same situation in a kind of a Groundhog Day like scenario ad infinitum. Who wants that?
I want you to think back over the last 5 years. What new realization has helped you get better results for your clients?
That you got to think like a client. There's a lot of businesses out there, my clients included, who are so focused on what they're selling and so focused on their sales process and their cadence and their reporting and their pipeline that they have become totally inward looking, and they only look at what they want to sell and how they want to sell it. But the client doesn't want that. The client wants you to help them to make an informed buying decision. So the secret to success is that you got to help your client to make an informed buying decision to buy from you. And so you got to think like a client.
I like what you said there about making an informed decision to buy from you.
hmm
What about the other side of that? Is there room for getting on the phone and maybe telling that potential client that they're not right for you and not making that sale?
I always do that. So I had an inquiry yesterday from a prospect, and we talked about what they want to do. And I said, look, let's do this. Got a sales funnel assessment on my website that people can fill in. Let's do the assessment, and then I'll give you 45 minutes of my time without charge to see whether there's a good fit for us to work together. And that does two things. One is it shows them that I'm not just taking on any job and that I'm not desperate. And secondly, it really helps them to understand that I can help them if I can, and that if I don't, that I'm doing the right thing for them, and say, look, you better go somewhere else.
What area of your business would you like better results?
Would like more referrals. I work on referrals, and I ask my clients for referrals, but for some reason they're still a bit shy giving the referrals. So I believe I'm doing all the right things.
Mm.
So I'm helping to phrase the referral question, because I never say to them, "Ah, look, here's Peter," and then talk to him and then run away, because that doesn't work. I always say, "Look, I've worked with this amazing coach. Would you? I can send you one of his articles. Would you be interested in me sending you that? And then if you want to be introduced, I'll be happy to introduce him." So quite softly, quite sort of measured, and yet either that they don't do it, or the recipient says, no, no, thanks, we're all good here. So either the qualification of the of the referred person wasn't good, or we've hit upon this phenomenon that I talked earlier about, that nobody wants to be sold to anymore, and even a referral is now perceived as a pitch.
Ouch. That's rough.
It is
How
rough,
do you
isn't it?
overcome that then? How do you overcome the referral being perceived as a pitch?
Well, I can lead a horse to water. I can't make him drink. So if somebody says, no, I'm not interested, I can't really make them interested. So I just try to do my best being out there, being visible, having credibility, giving tips away for free, and just basically showing that I'm around and that I'm worth talking to. And then when a referral happens, then I'm hoping that it all comes together. But there must be a better way, and I've still got to work on it, but I've got a million other things to do. so
Yeah.
so I haven't really focused on that just yet. But to answer your question, what would I like better results in? It's that area.
Yeah, the referrals and the referral pattern. I got it. So what results are you most proud of?
First result is that I'm still amazed that my wife said yes when I asked her to marry me. so, so don't tell your listeners. Don't tell my wife. But the other one is also from, not directly related to my current business. At one stage in my life, I owned an apartment in an apartment block of 16, and a developer wanted to buy the entire apartment block. And they approached me first because I knew them from personally. And the achievement that I'm quite proud of is that I negotiated with 16 apartment owners to sell the entire block.
Wow.
it took a long time, and there was a lot of toing and froing, and a lot of people going, "No, I want more money. No, why are they getting that much and I'm not getting that?" Human nature, right? But I actually pulled it off and negotiated with 16 apartment owners to sell their apartment to this developer, and the block, I just drove past it the other day. The block's gone now, and they're tearing it down. They're building a new apartment block on that site.
So, any parting thoughts for the results leaders who are listening to us right now?
Look, I've already said it before. Think like your buyers. Put yourself into their shoes and think everything from their perspective. Help them to buy. They don't want to be ambushed. They don't want you to jump out of the bushes and ambush them with a sales pitch. They want to know that you've done your homework. They want to know that you understand their issues and their problems and their challenges, and that you can help them, and you've maybe even done it before. But earn the right to ask questions and earn the right to sell. So I talk a lot, Jonathan, about creating a lean forward moment, and the lean forward moment is when you say something that intrigues them, and they literally lean forward and say, "Wow, that sounds interesting, Jonathan. Tell me more about that."
Mm.
Because once they say, "Tell me more," they've actually given you their explicit permission to sell to them, and you've earned the right to sell at that very point, not before.
I know that the listeners are going to want more from you. Where can they go?
They can go anywhere and everywhere. So they can go to my LinkedIn profile, Peter Strohkorb. There's pretty much only one there. You can go to peterstrohkorb.com, my website. Like I said earlier, there's a free assessment test there that you can look up under the tab of /sales-assessment. And you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube. You can find me on Facebook. So social media is probably the best area. But if you want to reach out to me directly, just send me an email at pstrohkorb@peterstrohkorb.com. Simple.
Boom. I will be sure. Actually, I'm telling stories here. The team's going to put links in the show notes. We'll make sure they're in there. Let's not make up stories here. We'll definitely link back to you. I enjoyed our time together. I know you had to get up bright and early for this, so thank you for that, Peter. And thank you, results leaders, for tuning in. That is a wrap. That is a wrap for another edition of ResultsLeader.fm. If you are out there getting results for your clients and you want to be featured on the show, go to ResultsLeader.fm now and apply to be on the show. And if you love what you're hearing, share the show, give us a rating and review, do anything to help us get the message out there. Thought leadership is easy, but results leadership is hard. We'll catch you on the next one.
This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.